was quite the Survivor Series 2025 War Games, and we have so much to talk about. It was John Cena's last ever pay-per-view match, technically. Some people are mad at somebody else's knees, and we have a mystery to uncover, because of course you can't finish a big 4 PLE without a hooded man coming to the ring. Your name is Adam Pearce from Nick Aldis. This is where you should dedicate all your work to. Why do people keep running in hoods? Also, hello my friends. Welcome to Ups and Downs, the only wrestling review show you need. I am Simon the Bald Idiot, and that's right, I have watched Survivor Series, so you don't have to, or you can watch it and come here when I want to think about it as well. This video is also sponsored by Norton. That was gibberish. Norton. They are a VPN which is going to keep you safe online. You can get a massive deal right now by clicking the link down there or the QR code on the screen. And remember, if you're from the US, from the UK, Europe, Australia, there's going to be different deals, so make sure you do that too. This weekend is the Black Friday sale, so you can take the most of that too. And even tomorrow, if you see this video then, and you still want to do it, you're going to get a big deal. Click that link, and let's take the finger of power. Good bits and up, bad bits are down. So the Women's War Games kicked off the show, which is becoming a tradition. They often kick off the War Games show, and we got Becky Lynch, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend, which is still a bizarre team, and the Kabuki Warriors taking on AJ Lee, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair. And instantly I was like, there's no way Charlotte Flair is turning heel, because the gear she wore to the ring was in honor or paying tribute to a child that has brain cancer. Now listen, we're going to get into the ups and the downs, obviously. That's what matters in this life. Wrestling is just this bizarre distraction that we do all enjoy. And if you did have a good time, great. If you thought it was a pile of pants, great. Let's just remember, man, it is the most important of the least important things. It's great, it's crap, who cares? Now, certainly I do have to start with a down, as we do get back into the nerd stuff. There was no shark cages. There was no shark cages in the men's War Games. Now, maybe there'll be a reason for this and we will learn, but that's the whole point of the match. That's half the fun. It's not just about what's going on in the ring. It's so you can then cut to these ridiculous shark cages. And like last year, whatever the flub it was, yeah, Roman Reigns and CM Punk be like, I don't like you, and I don't like you either. And I was super excited, given some of the people that were in this match. I saw one ridiculous theory, well, they were just too jacked. I'm sorry. WWE earns billions of dollars every single year, and that doesn't explain it for the women. That gets quite a big down as far as I'm concerned. That'd be like the Royal Rumble, but we don't have entrances anymore, which would just be a battle royal, but it would suck. I mean, it's the whole point. It was a large point of the gimmick. It was genuinely quite sad. Otherwise, I thought they did a really good job, and listen, they absolutely kicked each other's ass. They do deserve all the praise in the world for that, but I also think we've got to that point I was always worried we were going to get to, because we have two War Games on every single show, and this year especially, some parts are a bit like, well, you two have to get together because we need a War Games, and we need 5 people. It didn't really hit the levels it could have done in the past, and that is just the law of diminishing returns. Like now, when you picture War Games, you think, oh my God, it's going to be the most violent thing ever, and it was still crazy. There was some brutal stuff in this, but we can't really get to where we need to get to because you have to book a women's one, then you have to book a men's one. I don't understand, given how fun it was on SmackDown 2, why one can't be a traditional Survivor Series match and the other one could be War Games, and then you can just switch them. I mean, it would be a little bit like, I don't know, my first toy playground because you see it coming a mile away, but that's all right, it's wrestling, we all know the deal. So I'm giving that a down as well, but that's for the overall thing. That's not a specific negative criticism of either of their matches. I just think we can have more fun with this, and to do it, well, it sounds stupid, but you gotta have more fun. Charlotte Flair and Asuka are in there first though, which of course made all the sense in the world because they fought on Friday nights, and somehow that's just how, I guess it's like a magic tumbler works, names get pulled out of this, or is it meant to be that the teams decide? Do you know what? I don't actually know. Io Sky was next. Of course, she came out the trash can, and this time she'd written her name on it, which I thought made it even better. Some people were genuinely surprised that she did do this. Have you seen Io Sky in the War Games? She's essentially done it every single year, and every single time it has been a big success, so her not doing it would have been weird. Some people are like, I can't believe she did it again. If you punch someone in the face and realise you've got a great punch, do you know what you do in your next fight? You punch them. Becky Lynch was next, and she had Kenny the kendo stick, and that's something else that's evolved like a Pokemon. Everyone just walks to the ring with a trash can, and I did like this, because do you know who faced off? And it did feel like a big deal. It was Becky Lynch and Charlotte. And actually, in 2026, we should probably get to that feud and draw a line under it forever. I think that would be a big deal. Alexa Bliss followed, and obviously she was trying to help out Charlotte Flair, because it turns out they are going to be friends, and they will be friends for the rest of the time, when Kairi Sane came out with a chain. And that rhymes, so it must be true. But also, this made me laugh, because she desperately helped Asuka, essentially, because she's got Stockholm Syndrome, and I like to think she was looking for weapons. She was like, yeah, this is the most brutal one, because I must help the Empress of Tomorrow. Otherwise, she's going to yell at me again. Becky then made me laugh again because AJ Lee was next out and she closed the door like, please don't get in this cage. So don't tell me Becky Lynch hasn't had a great year. And AJ Lee very impressively did climb over the cage, but then she went to the top rope and do a crossbody. Now listen, I am never going to criticize anyone for not going off the top of the cage. I have been on the top of the top rope, and I can tell you, even then you're like, oh my gosh, this is so high. But this is what I mean about the expectation bar. Everybody went, oh my gosh, she's going to jump off the top of the cage. And when she didn't, it's a bit like, oh man, well, I expected more than that. Even though she still did a crossbody off the top. This is why I just think we have to rein it back a little bit. We also made sure we had a face-off between Asuka and AJ Lee, and we sold that like, oh my gosh, it's a dream match. But of course, Becky Lynch broke that up when Nia Jax came to the ring, and we sold it like, oh, Nia Jax, I'm going to whip your ass. And she did. She got in there, she crushed everyone. Rhea Ripley followed, and of course she got a massive pop, and she had all the weapons, including a mask that was essentially sponsored by Terrorizer. So I was laughing again, because like, well, if you're going to break your nose, you may as well make some cash. And soon after that, we did get a lot of crazy nonsense with the trash can when Lash Legend was the last person out. And you have to forgive me, I've got to give this a down 2. And this has nothing to do with Lash, it's the way she has been presented on the main roster. She essentially became friends with Nia Jax just so we could get them in the War Games. And we didn't really have a follow-up, we never had a big promo. It would have been so much better if we had gone old school with this and had a bunch of videos and had a bunch of vignettes, or just showed all of her clips from NXT, because she's great, and she was great here. At one point, she booted Rhea Ripley. It's like, oh man, we got to see that fight because they're not holding back. But I do not think we have done her justice, is that the right word, of putting her on the main roster. We just didn't give her enough fanfare, and that's something that I think needs to change. We then started getting into all the near falls and a bunch of 1-2-oohs. At one point, Asuka went to miss Charlotte and totally missed, so she took out Lash Legend. That's when Io Sky decided, well, I believe it is time. She went to the top of the cage, she got her personalized trash can, and she essentially did a swanton off there, and her damn foot went into the floor, so I hope she's okay. I truly do think this is one of the most impressive spots I have ever seen, because again, it's terrifying up there, and then to do it blind, and to put that much trust in the people down there, I'm going to give it an up. And I'm going to give it an up till the end of time. I can be lying on my deathbed, somebody walking and goes, hi man, do you have any last words? I'd be like, man, Io Sky, she does some amazing stuff in the trash can. Then people are like, you know what, I'm glad he's dead. Becky Lynch also got out of the way, which made me chuckle because she's such an asshole, but that was a mistake because everybody hit her with a finishing move until AJ Lee applied the Black Widow and Becky Lynch tapped out. So as we did predict, we can now go into that feud. So it was nice and simple, and I'm never going to get word about Nas. At least it makes sense in your brain. So it was fine. I hope I haven't been too critical here, because that's not what I mean to be, because they really did go at it. Just think if all of a sudden next year, let's say you did do the men's War Games, but the women were in the traditional Survivor Series match, and you flip it for 2027, it's just going to allow them to give you the, I can't believe it, that once again we've all come to expect. I've said that about 32,000 times. At the same time, the Io Sky thing is still, go do it today. Don't do it today. It's a terrible idea. But even if you climbed up on a chair and blindfolded yourself, all of a sudden you're going to feel like you're standing on a volcano. It's still worth your time though. It's a very, very fun match. And listen, the AJ Lee Becky Lynch feud for the start of 2026 will be a big deal. Giving it up. Well, I think we maybe found another reason why we didn't go too much shenanigans, because it was John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. And backstage they must have gone, Dom, we've got an idea, and it's called shenanigans. Once again, it's also John Cena's last ever proper pay-per-view match. How the flub have we got here? And I knew something was up when Dom came to the ring with Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, but flub me sideways did I not expect this. Now, they did get me at first, so I guess bravo to WWE, although I hope Penta was fine with it, because Dominic went to do the Hurricane Rana off Barry Barricade. He landed much like the Masked Man, and we sold it like he was hurt. The medical team was out, and everyone was like, oh no, Dominic Mysterio. And before, obviously, it turned into part of the storyline, I was like, oh no, we've got to stop doing this move, when, in the ring, Roxanne Perez gave John Cena the Pop Rocks. Raquel Rodriguez gave him the Tuana bomb, I can't remember what it's called now, but gave him a power bomb essentially, and I was like, this is amazing. This is brilliant. John Cena, in his last ever PLE match, has decided, hey, Judgment Day, hey, Roxanne Perez, hey, Raquel Rodriguez, I am going to put you over as strong as I can. I round of applauded this. I thought it ruled. It also means we get to put on one on the dick board, and from nowhere, Dominic Mysterio was like, ta-da! I'm perfectly fine. And he hit the 619, he got the splash of the frogs. And this is the only thing that annoyed me just a little bit. The referee decided, well, Dom, I can't believe you did that on the outside, so I am not going to count. This would be fine if we did this in every other single match that WWE does, but they don't. They have relied on shenanigans so many times to get a winner and get a loser. John Cena could have just kicked out, and actually I think that would have got a bigger pop, because people would have been like, oh my gosh, that's how Dom is going to win. I hate myself doing this, but it really irked me, so I do have to give it a down. The officials should have to go shrug emoji. I don't want to do this. Morally, I'm conflicted, but it is my job. Like, Dominic tricked people. He's allowed to trick people or DQ him, right? Why is it not a disqualification if you knew that everybody got involved? And he said, sorry, Raquel, Roxanne, you got to go to the back. And that was fun. I just think sometimes you have to have a rule and the thread has to stretch through the match. What? It's such a minor criticism though, because this match is so damn fun and you should go and watch it. And at one point, John Cena was going for moves, but when he went to get Dom, the boot came off as per Eddie Guerrero. And essentially Dominic did use that to finally get the 619 and the splash of the frogs. And this time John Cena kicked out. Then John Cena hit him with the AA, and Dominic Mysterio kicked out. So yes, we've got to the end of 2025, and we now know another law in the WWE universe is that if John Cena hits you with one AA, don't worry about it, you're going to be fine. Then got even funnier because JD McDonough and Finn Balor ran out, and quite clearly Dominic and them have got back on the same page, we're just not talking about that anymore. And John Cena grabbed both these guys and gave them a double AA, which is something he has done throughout his career too. So even that made me sad. I was like, oh my gosh, it's the last feat of strength we're ever going to see from Big Match John. But damn it, we had a hell of a ride. Dominic then swung the title at Cena, but he ducked and hit another AA when he went to get me another referee out here. But of course, because we had to have ultimate shenanigans, it was another referee, it was the returning Liv Morgan. And this cracked me up as well, because this is the conversation that Liv and Dom must have had in the back. So here's what I'm going to do, Dom. I'm going to walk out, I'm going to hit you as hard as I can, because I really want to get one over that John Cena. Dom would have been like, why? Don't we like John Cena now? And Liv goes, because we just don't. Because that's right, she slapped the shit out of Mysterio, who did go down, when she hugged John Cena, who had the best facial expression. When Liv Morgan became John Cena from the Elimination Chamber, she went to happy to crazy. She whacked him right in the balls when Dominic Mysterio hit the 619. It was Liv then that smacked John Cena with the championship when Mysterio got the splash of the frogs, and he pinned John Cena for the 1, 2, 3. I was just clapping. This is what WWE does the best, man. Nonsense, over-the-top ridiculousness that makes you laugh out loud. And I don't care what you say, John Cena just put over the entire group of the Judgment Day. I think that is totally brilliant. Dom and Liv then celebrated like they won the damn lottery, and they were hugging again and kissing and being all like lovely together. And of course that's going to go somewhere too. I think this was the funnest part of the show. And of course John Cena got to get his big I have to go home now, and everybody still loved him. I now assume he's going to win his last match, which is why we did what we did here. But that's awesome as well, because Dom can now spend 2026 walking around going, guess who the last guy to beat John Cena was? It was me. I'm giving it an up. When WWE gets this right, nobody else even comes close. Like, you just sit there and you laugh and you kind of look around afterwards and go, that'll do, Big, that'll do. Wrestling ain't meant to be serious. When we got to Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella for the Women's Championship, and look, I thought as a match this was actually pretty good. It's the best that Nikki Bella has looked ever since she has returned, and Stephanie Vaquer is just going to be a massive star. But given that she won, Stephanie that is, I was just a bit like, well, the bill was a little bit lame. We didn't really get any massive promos, and the heel turn only happened a couple of weeks ago, and now we're here. Stephanie just beat her. There was no cheating. There was no nonsense, which you couldn't have done after that John Cena match. And the fans weren't really into it too. And I was like, this is nobody's fault in the ring. We just have not given this feud program match the oomph it deserves. The whole match as well was built around the Devil's Kiss, and eventually Stephanie got it twice. Once on the announce table, another one in the ring. And Nikki Bella saw this like she was dead, so she didn't get on her knees. And you can argue that Vaquer looked a little bit mad after this, but I'm sure she was selling. I actually quite liked it. It looked like the Devil Kiss had killed Nikki Bella. But then after all that, she hit the corkscrew flip and she got the 1, 2, 3. I was just like, I don't know what we're meant to do with Nikki Bella now. Like, her win-loss record hasn't been great, and she only got this title shot because she went heel, which of course what we always do in pro wrestling. I just think it needed a bit more, but again, I thought the work was very good, and Nikki absolutely was like, oh, I can keep doing this, should I so wish to do, and Stephanie's going to be totally fine. So I'm going to give it an up in terms of bell to bell, but everything around it has to get it down. This was a Survivor Series, and it didn't really feel like a big time match. We then went through an entire generation before we got to our main event, which was the men's War Games. It was the Vision, Logan Paul and Brock Lesnar, and Drew McIntyre, I suppose, because the Vision's only 2 people now, taking on CM Punk, Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Cody Rhodes. And ultimately, when you take your hands and mush everything together, I thought it was pretty flipping good. A CM Punk and Bron Breakker started, which I was a huge fan of, because I think we should get to that program sooner or later, and I actually popped and made noises when Drew McIntyre was number 3, because of course, who had the best feud of last year? It was Drew and Punk, and I was like, here we go. Then instantly Punk was bleeding, so I was like, right, we've learnt now, WWE won't do blood unless it's McIntyre and CM. Cody Rhodes then arrived, and Drew McIntyre did the exact same thing that Becky Lynch had done with AJ Lee, which was strange. But this time, Cody did go to the top, and he dove off the cage with a crossbody. He's Cody Rhodes, man. He does not have to be doing that stuff now. I say fair play to that guy. We also got some teasing here as well, maybe for WrestleMania, because at one point Cody elbowed CM Punk, mostly because CM Punk had snuck up on him, and Cody didn't realize it was he. Now, CM Punk did save him from Drew McIntyre, but I think you should probably store that in your brain, especially when we got to the finish, because all of them, including Roman Reigns, were looking at each other like, man, maybe we have to fight. They did get back on the same page, though, when they hit this heart attack and doomsday device on Bron Breakker, and oh my gosh, Bron Breakker landed right on his neck. Now, thankfully, he's a Steiner, so he's probably going to be totally fine, but I had a conniption here. It looked awful. Logan Paul was in there next, followed by Jim Uso, who wasn't able to do anything because Drew McIntyre almost claymored it instantly. I was like, where'd that come from? When it was time for Bronson Reed, and he essentially went tsunami, 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 which surely means all these people should be out for 6 months. That's what we were doing until Logan Paul no-sold it. Still not over it, we shouldn't have done that. Jey Uso was next, and he hit a 1D with Brother Jim onto Logan Paul, which was quite surreal. When, yes, he ran his entrance back and he climbed to the top of the cage and he was just dancing. People have melted down over this, but I actually think on something like a Survivor Series where he should do it, and when we come to Raw, we should probably, well, roll it back a little bit and not do it as much. I wasn't offended by this at all, mostly because I knew it was going to happen. In no world was WWE not going to say to Jey Uso, ha ha ha, you can do it on top of the cage, especially because, of course, who interrupted? It was Brock Lesnar, and everybody was like, oh no, not Brock Lesnar. He's going to kill Jey Uso, and he did, and he also killed everybody else. I think every single human being, including CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, got F5'd. All of this was built to the arrival of Roman Reigns, so I guess he won that political game. I don't know why this annoyed me so much, but Brock Lesnar just left the cage and he met him in the aisleway. Now, I guess that was kind of cool because it is Brock versus Roman, although I've seen that so much over the last 10 years, it's hard to get too damn pumped up. But the whole damn show, the commentators have said, well, if somebody does leave the cage, they get disqualified. When here they went, oh, no. Not if it happens before we get to the match beyond, or everybody is in the thing. Just pick a rule and stick to it. I don't know why this annoyed me either. Maybe I needed to get more sleep. But if the rule is, once you're in the cage, you can't leave the cage, don't let people leave the cage. I mean, he did F5 Roman Reigns into a table, which was pretty cool. Still giving it a down. Eventually, Punk got the GTS on Brock Lesnar, though, when Cody followed up with a crossroads, and it was Logan Paul that broke up the pin. So I was like, man, we are not in Kansas anymore, Toto. And given that Logan had been beaten up, he did say, Paul Heyman, give me the brass knucks. And he did. I was like, Logan, you know you're allowed to enter the ring with the brass knucks. I'm pretty sure it's no disqualification. Now, he was able to knock out Jimmy Uso and CM Punk when Roman Reigns speared him out of his ass. Whatever that means. And after this, our tribal chief started to use the knucks when he saw Bron Breakker, and he gave that mother Hubbard a spear. Kind of interesting because it means that Roman does have multiple options ahead of him, and when Brock Lesnar picked up Jimmy Uso, Roman speared all that noise through a table as well. So maybe we are going to run it back one more time. But to be honest, I don't think I need to see it. Bron Breakker then started to spear everybody. I was a bit like, should I start a spear counter? But I'm not going to do that. When CM Punk hit the GTS on Logan Paul, but of course, who broke that up? It was Bron Breakker. We then started to heavily tease that CM Punk was going to have this match won. Yes, someone decided I think a hooded gentleman should run to the ring, and they did, and whoever it was had power in their legs. They scaled over that cage like it was nothing. They super kicked CM Punk right in the face when they hit the curb stomp. Listen, fair play to WWE. The fans reacted to this like it was Seth Rollins. I don't think it's Seth Rollins. I tell you who I do think it is, though. Repo Man, of course, right now we don't know, so I'm always going to keep my fingers crossed. But I would assume it was Austin Theory. Everybody has been mentioning his name. And as I also remember when it did happen, oh yeah, when Seth Rollins had his cult during the pandemic era, who was in that? It was Austin Theory. Bron Breakker then won the absolute day because he did that thing where he takes his straps down before he puts them back on again, which I totally love. When he did his super spear onto CM Punk and he beat him for the 1, 2, 3. So there's another match we can do and really come Raw. Bron should come out and say, by the way, Mr. World Champion, I just beat you, geese title shot. There's actually more after this as well, because after the heels had run away and went, yes, we did it, Roman Reigns helped CM Punk to his feet. Probably because they are in Zootopia together, so now they're Zeb Bros, whatever that word is. At one point, the fans were chanting that, which did make me laugh. But with Cody, there was no love with him at all. In fact, he was left in the ring looking quite lonely, and Roman Reigns even said, "Listen to me, Cody Rhodes, that's the last time we will ever team together again." So yes, you could probably argue that maybe it'll be a three-way at WrestleMania, but I would stay away from that given what we did do at WrestleMania 41. And maybe we are going to do Cody versus Roman Reigns round 3, and given how the first two went, one won one and the other one won the other one, which is the worst way I've ever phrased a sentence, I actually think it would have a lot of secret sauce. And maybe Punk takes on a Bron Breakker. I would still do CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. I think that's the biggest match WWE has, but we wait and see. But this was a good War Games match. I thought it told a lot of stories as well. And again, the hooded man, which probably be Austin Theory joining the division, does make sense. Because Brock Lesnar ain't in that group properly, and neither is Drew McIntyre. So Austin Theory being in there just kind of gives it a lift that it probably needs. So I am going to give it an up. I do have one asterisk. Drew McIntyre at times kind of felt persona non grata in this thing. I mean, who does he even fight after this? I really don't get what's happening. It was fun though, and it was easy to enjoy, and of course it went about an hour, or whatever it was, because these War Games always go long. And just to reiterate, next year I would just pick the men or the women and let them do the War Games. But listen, if you do sit down and watch this match, are you going to have a good time? Yes, you are. Up. Which brought us to the end of the Survivor Series, and listen, it's an okay pay-per-view, or it's a decent pay-per-view, like you'll have a lot of fun with it, but given how much, I suppose, stock people put in the Survivor Series, given what has happened over the last few years, I would understand if somebody went, well, I didn't really get as much out of it as I was expecting, but I'm still going to give it an up. If you took away the horrendous adverts that just separate these matches out as if you're waiting for a baby to be born, that'd be way better. Every match was pretty good. That's all you can ask. Now, of course, please do leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought about the Survivor Series. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is ups and downs for SmackDown, which nobody's going to care about. Go watch another video instead. Otherwise, I appreciate you, my friends. See you soon.